Alright, we're back. To get a couple tools. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just piston out of here. Why the hell is that motor so hard to turn over? Damn. Jeez, that whole motor's tight. What the hell's up with this thing? I think it should be nice and free turning, it ain't. What's going on with this thing? These are not things that are normally going on my motor. Alright, so I'm going to pull this wrist pin out of here, retainer. These wire retainers, I reuse them all the time. If they're still around, they're good. Another good one. Definitely going to be reusing those. Oh, this is my pulling tool. You take an extension, you turn it down square and flat. See how this is tapered right in here? You have a nice flat surface right there, and you can use it to knock your pins out. Make sure you hold the piston so you're not beating on the rod, you're beating on the piston. Figure out what the hell's going on here. Feels pretty smooth. Feel that a little grit when I first pulled it. It's definitely tight now. Here's my fitting wrist pin. Yeah. The wrist pin is definitely tighter than it should be. This motor's coming apart. Something's wrong with it. Don't know why it's tight. This motor should be loose as a goose. That's how it's built. I'm not sure why this Tribun oil is all green either. It's weird. This is supposed to be loose also. Now you do put burrs in there when you pull the pins out a little bit, the clips. So let's see. So even I got it where it belongs, it's tight. So this piston's collapsed also. So it needs to be honed. Typical race motor, even when you make a lousy run and it doesn't even go down the track worth a squat, you still break parts. I've had that'll happen a lot. I've turned the bike out because it wouldn't even run. It never even came up on power. You take it apart and I've had a hole pistons. I've had the pistons all beat to hell and collapse like this one is. And the bike didn't even run. Shows you kind of loads are on these things that are not happy. They're not happy. Alright, so this piston's collapsed a little bit. I don't know where this metal's coming from that's in here either, but it's got something going on there. You can tell it got heat in it by the darkness on the dome. That's burning us on there. You can also see the inside of the piston's burnt oil on the inside. That's pretty damn hot. This piston had a lot of heat on it, even though it wasn't running correctly. It had a lot of heat in it. Rod's free, but the crank is not. Crank is tight. Yeah, that thing is tight. So that thing should just be spinning real easy. It's not. So something is wrong with this motor. So it's definitely going to be coming apart. So you can see I put 2 big bushings in there instead of having the other rod in there. And the rod just sits there nice and loose. See how loose that is? Yeah, that's loose. See, yeah, the crank is hard to move. Like I said, that crank should be nice and free. And obviously it's not in gear because the bike's not moving. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do our rebuild on this thing. I'll pull the cam cover off and see if that frees everything all up. And if that doesn't free it up, then we know there's something wrong. But more likely I'm just going to pull the whole motor out, because it's easier just to pull the whole thing out of the unit and go through it. So that's what we're going to be doing. But we're not doing it tonight. Alright, more good news. Good thing I didn't have a race to go to, because that's more than, well, I could do it in a day if I had to, but it's easy, more like a 2 or 3 day project to go through my motor real quick. But I've done them in a day, overnight. I've done them in the middle of the night, you know, from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. and then go to the track. Yeah, that day. Yeah, it's more like 6 a.m. Drive the track and then go race it at 8 a.m. Yeah, I've done that before. All right, well, there you go. Need to work on it. So you see my nitrous nozzles sitting in there. See, the other one's way up inside, way up in there. That's 2 more. So these here just flood down the intake port right here. Flood that thing full of liquid in there. And the other 2 fill up the rest of everything else that's in there to be filled up. But anyway, that's how they work. Alright, we'll be back on this project.